place with that rollout. I think it definitely overshadowed from a musical standpoint, like from an artist standpoint. It definitely overshadowed. I still don't think nothing overshadowed his performance. That was the biggest thing of the night for me.
Bigger announcement: Taylor announcing her album at the Grammys, or Beyonce doing what she did on a Super Bowl commercial?
Beyonce.
Definitely Beyonce.
Yeah, Beyonce.
Definitely, she dropped it from space.
Yeah.
She did drop it. She did drop it from space. Oh man,
she dropped that bad boy from space. But like I said, I think that again, like it was genius marketing. I thought it was incredible. And it's funny. And now in hindsight, when you think about it, she's been leaving clues, like the whole cowboy hat. She had the cowboy hat on her page, and she had the cowboy hat at the Grammys. I'm like, Beyonce been wearing this cowboy hat a lot lately. It's like, oh, okay. And here we go, and this is why. So,
are we gonna follow her over there?
Okay, I'll say this. I listened to the first two records. Mm-hmm. For me, if she's going to enter, this is what I say. If she's going to enter that genre, she should enter that genre with the leaders of that genre. She should be. Her song should be produced by Morgan Wallen. Like she should embrace that culture and utilize the best of the best, because I listen to country music. And so there's some phenomenal country records that come out of Nashville. And so if it isn't like, oh, Beyonce's doing a country album, but she did it in LA, I don't know. But if she said Beyonce Renaissance, Act 2, Beyonce been in Nashville for the last 2-3 months working on this album with the best of the best in country, that's going to do it. If it doesn't, I don't think people are going to follow her over to the genre. And I don't think the genre is going to embrace her. I don't think you're going to, it's like, I don't think the genre is going to embrace her unless she embraces the genre and goes in there and say, okay, let me go in here and work with the best of the best that you guys got, and then do it. If not, if it's just because I saw Raphael Sadiq wrote, I think both of the two singles. He was a writer on both of those records, and I'm like, that ain't Raphael Sadiq's not a country songwriter. Like, you need to go over there and holler at these country. Like, if you want to attack that genre, then definitely immerse yourself in that current culture, right? And create from there. But put your Beyonce on it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Isaac, do you think though that with her doing that is kind of like counterproductive to what her whole Renaissance movement is about? So like, the last album was about paying homage to forgotten folks. So like these last two country songs, like I was reading some of the information, and like Robert Rudolph, she wouldn't got him to play. He's like one of the greatest guitarists, credited on a lot of stuff. He's a black guy. And then outside of that, she went and got the other, I forget her name, what's her name, Rahana Giddens, or whoever played the banjo or whatever on that Texas Hold'em. So it's like she's paying homage to forgotten black country folks. So is it counterproductive for her to go and attach to the biggest white artists in that genre to be accepted, or is it her mission that she's been doing in terms of Renaissance to bring attention to those black artists that's in that genre that's been forgotten or overlooked or never mentioned at all?
No, because still contained within that genre is like Kane Brown, Allison Russell's contained within that genre. What's the other girl? I can't think of her name. She wins country music. She gets nominated and wins country music. Like Breland. Like I'm trying to think of the people that I know, but I can't remember the other girl. Mickey.
There was a black couple that was at the Grammys that did country as well, right? There's like a man and a woman. I can't remember their names.
But even even like Mickey Guyton, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are people that are in that space. So if that's and I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with that genre, but like I said, if it's Mickey Guyton, if it's Darius Rucker, if it's there are black people that have been spending their time in the country music space, and she definitely could collaborate with those collaborators. I understand having black musicians, but I'm always big on the song. Like, I'm more concerned about the records. So that's for me too. That's my biggest concern.
Hey, if I could jump in, good morning. It's Bentley.
Hey, Bentley. Hold on, Bentley. Okay. Hold on. It's 10:30. I want to start pulling up people from the audience. So Gary, start looking in the audience for anybody who got their hands raised. If you want to contribute to the conversation, add something to it, please raise your hand. We're gonna bring you up on stage, and we're gonna keep this conversation going. So go for it, Bentley.
Bentley.
Hey, good morning. You know what? I see this. I've become like this, like, Black historian over the past 2 years. I guess the edge into 40. I don't know what I'm about to turn into, but I've been researching and reading. Like, Black people, we started everything. They used to banjo, but that is like the American child of the African string instrument, and that is where country music came from. Country music came from us, just like hockey, it came from us. So I don't see it as her stepping away from the Renaissance movement. I see her showing and embracing in her element, her world, her industry, where we are at and where we have been and what is ours and what we should really be looking at and immersing ourselves also into musically. You get what I'm saying? And like I said, some of the best songs ever are country music songs. You get what I'm saying? And the way that they're written is very spiritual. It's from the soul. And I really do see how she is really hopefully, yeah, I agree with you all. She definitely needs to get with the big wigs of that industry, from the songwriters to the producers all the way down, and the artists. But at the same token, I do hope that more people realize that their talent isn't to rap and their talent isn't to be an R&B gyrating singer, but maybe their voice and their talents are more gifted into the country music realm, which is ours. We just haven't been reigning supreme over there. We kind of left that alone because that old school, once the rap and stuff started getting into play, and now it's a huge market that was really built on our backs yet again. And good morning, everybody.
Morning.
But yeah, I agree. I follow her over there. Like, you feel me? Like, I'll give the album a listen, play it back to back, because if I am going to listen to a country album, like, I would definitely want to listen to it through her scope. You know what I'm saying? And like Bentley said, I'm low-key expecting her to dig up some past and some history and be like, like, this, we have a history in folk music, blues. Like, I'm fully expecting her to bring out some blues elements and some blues players and kind of hopefully give us the same kind of scope and spectacle that she did on Renaissance via Black country music. Like, that's what I'm hoping for. So I'll definitely follow her over there.
I can dig it. All right. Who else? We got somebody on stage. I thought
Vashawn.
Janice and Vashawn.
Oh, Janice first, and then Vashawn.
Good morning, Janice.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? I put a question in the chat. I noticed that when she dropped the albums, Beyonce, they were in the pop category. So I was wondering, does that play into like the marketing and why they weren't in the country category? I know like Spotify and Apple Music, that's all different from like the Grammys. But I was just wondering, do you think that was intentional and from a marketing standpoint?
1,000%.
That's interesting.
No, it's 1,000%. I can tell you for certain, as a person who works in music distro, it matters. Where you categorize your music, it actually affects the playlisting. It affects the marketing. It affects everything, because it's telling the audience as well as the playlisting curators and everything where you want your music to be considered, right? So I could take a complete rap record. If I stick it in the gospel category, it's a signal to everybody else to say, hey, listen to what I'm saying, listen to these words, because this is actually a gospel song. And I've actually seen it negatively affect artists because they accidentally clicked the wrong category and then their song went somewhere else, and then they were like, yo, what happened? And then we'll go back and look at what they did, and we're like, oh shit, you clicked classical music by accident. So the rap playlisters were, some of them might have caught it because they just recognized the name. But if they didn't catch it, the music kind of went in a different direction, and the classical people immediately, of course, dismissed it because they were like, what is this mess? So that category actually is a signal to everybody paying attention, like, yo, I want this to be considered over here. So if you put it in pop, it is now like I said, it's a signal. It's a signal to the other pop artists. It's a signal to the pop people who judge pop music or who evaluate pop music or discuss pop music. Like, this is where Beyonce is aiming. Do not put this in R&B. Do not put this in hip-hop. Do not put this where you would typically put it just because it's Beyonce. And that's something that Black artists have been struggling with for a long time. Like, we've all, like, I've managed artists. One of my early artists who I still to this day think is amazingly talented, but because she was a dark-skinned Black girl, everything was R&B. Even though she was making pop records, even though she could sing,
it may be the second thing that you mentioned, Nick.
What's that?
It may be the second thing you mentioned. Probably, if Janice seen that, it was probably a mistake. Because I'm looking at Apple Music now. Her 2 singles are under country.
No, they were on pop earlier though. I think
they were on pop.
Yeah, that's what I said. It may be the second thing you said when somebody made a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, but yeah, it does matter. It is a thing that like I said, it's a signal to the awards committee. It's a signal to everybody. Like, put me over here. This is not Beyonce R&B making an R&B song with a country twang. This is a country music record. So I expect to see y'all at the CMAs. That's what she's saying.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I think they did it on purpose because nobody knows what Beyonce's doing. Like, the secret society around her will not allow you to even guess what she's about to do. I think people are making assumptions about Act 3 of being rock and, what I put in the chat, but nobody really knew what she was dropping.
Actually, I can give credit to Fadia. If y'all follow Fadia Cater, she posted a post that after Renaissance that she said Beyonce should do a country album next. And that was like a year ago. So Fadia posted that on her social like a long time ago that said, yeah, Beyonce should consider going into the country lane and doing that. So that's the only person that I heard that suggested that she do country music was Fadia Cater.
There's a few people that was talking about it in LA, but because they write with Beyonce. I mean, I heard it. We were at the Raider Stadium last year, and my wife and I heard her next album was going to be country, and she was considering jazz, but they would never say anything publicly because they'll lose their spot to help write on her albums. There's a few people that's around LA that write with Beyonce. They whisper to the people that's close to them with the hopes that those people don't go out and communicate what they said. Exactly. They'll just deny it anyhow.
Yeah. That pop designation might have been a somebody trying to hedge their bets a little bit. Like, I don't know if we stick this country thing over here. I don't know how everybody's going to react. Let's leave it as pop with a subgenre as country. See what people say, and then if they embrace it, cool. We'll switch it all over to country. If they don't, we'll be like, it's Beyonce doing the pop thing. Everybody relax. But I think they might have. And like I said, this is pure speculation. I think it was an opportunity to kind of hedge bets a bit about how are people going to receive it. Again, like I said, remember this has been the Taylor Swift Bowl and the Usher Bowl for the past 3 months. So Beyonce essentially coming out of nowhere after a Jay-Z speech at the Grammys, after all of this. I don't know. Like I said, it can get spooky out here because, like I said, it's Beyonce, guys. Like, I mean, we love her. And I think she's loved in general, but now when you start stepping into country music, which, yes, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know much about the black country music roots. This is something that I read about in the last, I would say, year, that someone told me, like, oh, yeah, that was actually a black genre at one point. I did not know that. I was schooled to that in the last year, but you guys know no matter what we're talking about or who started what, country music has not been a black genre in a long time.
Yeah, Beyonce did Daddy's Lessons on not the last album, but the album before. And Lemonade. That was like a country song. Lemonade.
Yeah, on an R&B album, though. Remember, do y'all remember when Lil Nas X was doing this? When he came out with Old Town Road, they did everything they could to make that a hip-hop record.
Of course. They did. But next we got Bashan. Good morning, Bashan. Tell us where you calling from, man. What would you like to add to the conversation?
Yeah, absolutely. Peace, y'all. No, I think Beyonce she's just handing out lessons, right? I just think that everything is very methodical. So when they do things, we're like, well, did Jay-Z, did she know? She looked mortified. No, she didn't. She was well aware that he was going to say what he said. This was all a part of their plan. I just think like she really is just always just shocking and surprising us. You can never know what she's going to do next. And so a couple of things, yes. So the country music community obviously there was some pushback, but I do remember do y'all remember she performed Daddy's Lessons? Was it Daddy's Lessons? Yeah. She performed that with, who did she perform it with? I can't remember who it was at the Country Music Awards. So they've already done that. Who was it? Y'all remember? I can't remember. Okay. So the second thing is that I don't know if her plan was always to drop country music. It was genius. She's capitalizing on the fact that Taylor Swift has so
Uh-oh. I think we lost you a little bit. Go back near your router.
And the fact of the matter, she got $30 million for 18 hours of work, you know, and it was a big marketing ploy. Like, I mean, this woman just knows exactly what she's doing. And so I'm just excited to see how it pans out. This is my last point, and this is just me just thinking out the box, right? Me understanding the Carters and that they are on a mission. Everything they do is now about their legacy and is about their impact they're making on the world. So when we say she's dropping a country music album, why is she doing it? Why is she doing it? Is it because she's from Texas and she just wants to be able to shine light on her roots? No. We understand the power of music. Look what the music has done in the younger generation as far as white kids moving from rock music that they embraced in the 80s and the 90s and pretty much unilaterally and completely embracing hip hop, and what that will do in terms of the impact of racism going forward. So Beyonce stepping into and pushing her foot forward, you know, in the genre of country music, and if starting to move that fan base, I think that will have an impact culturally. I think it will have an impact politically. And if it opens doors for more Black artists and more crossover in that lane, I think there's a bigger picture. So that was just my thoughts and going on mute.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it definitely will. Hell, but hopefully everybody remembers Nelly did it first. I think he did that joint album with Garth Brooks or some shit, which, you know, was decent. You know what I'm saying?
But never going to give Nelly credit for that. Never going to acknowledge.
Leonard, welcome to the stage. Tell us where you calling from.
Good morning, calling from D.C. I'd just like to say, if you look at the way Black excellence gets their recognition, you got, say, a Halle Berry. She gets an Oscar for playing a slut. Denzel gets an Oscar for playing a gangster. This might be Beyonce finally getting her album of the year by going country music, especially if she wound up pushing 14, 15 million units. She might finally get her due.
Especially if Jay-Z.
It might be a damn good album, too.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be good, but, like, if we, pardon the interruption, but, like, if, like the same way they do in basketball, where they call out the refs the night before the game, like, oh, we don't get no foul calls, and then that next night they're getting all the foul calls. Like, I feel like that might be like what her and Jay-Z was doing. Like, it was like, hey man, y'all niggas ain't getting this right, boom boom boom. She ain't never got the album. So I think if they're like telepathing or signaling that shit, like, so I think it's going to be interesting. Plus, it'll be good regardless because they're only going to work with the best of the best.
That's a great point, Gary. I like the idea of, like, you know, the analogy of, like, calling out the refs the night before. That's actually really, really smart. And I think it's really cool because I'm about to bring up somebody else who gets this too. But isn't it amazing to, like, be in a space where whatever you do, everybody's like, oh no, they're so smart. They were way ahead of it. You know, everything they do was calculated. Even when you do things on accident, everybody's like, nah, they thought that through 2 years ago. And, you know, like Beyonce lives in that space, Jay lives in that space. There are a few artists that when they do things, and I think sometimes, honestly and truthfully, some guys, you know, some artists or some people really are experimenting and they're just kind of thinking out the box and just saying, oh, here goes nothing. And then it works. And everybody's like, they're so smart because they've just built up that brand of they're so smart, i.e., your boy Kanye. So did anybody see Kanye's Super Bowl ad that he decided to run on social media? So if you haven't seen Kanye's post, Kanye goes online. I didn't see this on TV, so I don't know how it was worked, but I did see the numbers on what he was able to attract from it. But basically, Kanye says, we spent so much money on the ad that we didn't really even have time to, like, spend money on the actual commercial. So here goes. Go to Yeezy.com. I got some shoes up there, and that's it. Like, he's in the car. He's got the grill in his mouth. It looks very unpolished. It looked rough. It's rough. But it's Kanye, and everybody is like, oh, my God, Kanye's a genius. And I'm like, really? Like, is he? But Kanye's in that space where whatever he does, everybody wants to assign genius-level marketing, all this forethought that Kanye puts into things. And I'm like, I don't know, guys. I think he literally might have just picked up TikTok. And that's not to discount Kanye at all. I just really feel like, I don't know. But I think we just grant him that space.
From a marketing standpoint, what I say about Kanye is he knows how to, so he's using those metrics that I say for engagement, even on social media, but even in real life. One thing is that he's going to create conflict, and then he knows how to get your attention. Like, he just, and then he is entertaining, whether in some way, shape, or form it's going to be entertaining. And then he provided information. Like, I got some shoes that's ready to be sold. But I know that Kanye knows how to get your attention. He's kind of created himself that whatever he says is like, you got to tune in because you don't know what he's going to say ever since Hurricane Katrina. Like, so you don't even know. So it's Hurricane Katrina, Taylor Swift, slavery was a choice. All these things he's been saying, it's like he's kind of built himself up that if he opens his mouth, you're going to at least listen to see what he has to say because you don't know what's going to come out.
He's human clickbait.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, so we got one last caller. Not caller, but...
Not caller.
All right, him, her, sound off. Good morning. Tell us where you're calling from, man. What would you like to add to the conversation? Uh-oh, him, her, sound off. How's your mic working?
I don't think the mic is connected. I don't think her mic is... she got to go to the settings and allow fan base to use her mic.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll give you a few minutes.
Give a few minutes. Dean said in the chat, he said that all the stuff on Kanye's site was $20. Did anybody go to Kanye's to the website to see what was going on Yeezy.com? Because I didn't go. I'm kind of over Kanye personally, but that's just a personal thing, and I didn't even have the energy to like go check the site. Hold up, Tiff said what? It's everything $20. Okay, was it shirt, shoes? What we looking at? Okay, is still stuff up there? Is it sold out? All right, Kanye. All right, everybody go to Yeezy.com and
Kanye having a sale, huh? He been having a sale.
Everything $20. Dean, shouts out to Dean for putting us on to that. Like I don't know. Like I'm gonna take a look.
Page, Dean. Check your invites. Him, her, sound off. How's your mic doing?
Can you hear me? Sorry.
There you go. You're back.
Hi. Maybe I want to change it on the settings. I appreciate that tip.
Oh, good. So where you calling from, man? What would you like to conversation?
So you guys are talking about Kanye and Beyonce. So I personally believe that Kanye believes himself to be a genius, and although he has he's done so much for our hip hop and rap and all the things, I think that I believe personally that he's mentally unstable, but that's just my opinion, and he needs some people around him to pour into him and heal him. Because he feels like he's going through a lot, because a lot of his stuff can be perceived to be like, oh, genius status, but I feel like it's just deranged and crazy. I don't think it's fair when we're talking about Beyonce and I don't think you guys did this, but putting them in the same category. As I feel like Beyonce, if you've seen like her prior work, her whole story, her documentaries and everything, she is very meticulous. She's intentional. She is working to build her family's legacy. And to empower others and bring the history and the forgotten knowledge, just like Billy was saying, to the forefront. So I don't think this particular move into the country realm was by accident. I feel like it's very much intentional. And like a lot of people are saying in the chat about, she did it during the time of the Super Bowl. A lot of Taylor's fans were watching. I really feel like that when we go into comparison, like I think some popular person compared the two. I think that with Taylor, she knows how to leverage how America views a certain demographic of women and how they view to be innocent, and that power, she does leverage that in her favor to continue to make money, to be popular. I don't think she's a great singer or performer, but I think she's a great singer, a great songwriter, and she knows how to move minds and move her fans by continuing a formula that's working for her. I feel like with Beyonce, she's extremely talented and there's no one like her. Yes, there are great singers because we do produce a lot of greatness when it comes to that, but she knows the business. She's crossed over. She's done this, that, and the other so well. The acting, I love her. That could be, room for improvement. But overall, she's just a titan, I live in legend, an icon, and people don't want to give her flowers because, one, I personally believe she's a woman of color. Two, I personally believe that she embraces that and empowers other women and young people of color. And so that's where a lot of people have a problem with her. And so they're constantly going to be rooting against her. And we just got to continue to support one another, our small artists, our big artists, and just grow as a community and help ourselves individually in the community. So, sorry, I had to get on.
No, it's all good. Thank you.
Yeah,
Let me ask y'all something though. While we talking about it though, do y'all think that, or do y'all ever hear anybody consider Taylor Swift a genius? Have y'all ever heard that label attached to her?
No.
She's a very good songwriter, but no, she's just a really nice person.
I'm just looking at numbers and I'm looking at influence, and I'm telling y'all.
I've heard it.
And I'm not saying that she is. I'm saying when Kanye moves the needle, when B moves the needle, when Jay moves the needle, similar to how she's moved the needle, we call them geniuses.
Well,
Nobody says that about Taylor Swift.
I don't think, because what I think Taylor Swift has is a huge connection with an audience of people that doesn't require her to be genius. She just has a huge fan base. She's like, so I've heard a multitude of people speak about Taylor Swift over the years, and what I always hear is she's just one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. She's just really, really nice, and the Swifties love her, and that doesn't require. So when you're loved, it doesn't require you to be genius. It just requires you. People have a connection with you in the type of person that you are. So I don't think that things that she's doing. I think she's a great songwriter. Like, I think people underestimate. If you go check some of her writing credits, she wrote some songs that you probably didn't even know that she wrote. But that's my point, is that I think she just has such a huge fan base that it doesn't require her to be genius. And these other artists are marketing them. Everybody else that we're speaking of is kind of like an older artist. Taylor is in her prime per se, so she's not where Beyonce and Jay-Z and Kanye.
So she's too young to be a genius? Is that what you're saying?
No. It's not she's too young to be a genius. It's like, did anybody say Justin Bieber was a genius, or Criss Cross, or Bow Wow? No, they just have huge fan bases of people that love them. It doesn't require genius when you just have a huge fan base of people that love you when you're younger. When you're younger, kids just love you. They're like, the Backstreet Boys were not genius. It wasn't genius marketing. It wasn't genius marketing for Boyz II Men or genius marketing for the Jackson 5. It's just, with kids, they get really invested in the artists that they love. When you get older is when you got to start to pull out the tricks.
Hey, so let me ask y'all something, because this is kind of taking me down a race road, and I'm curious, because I these are genuine questions, guys.
Yeah.
When it comes to music, there are a lot of quote unquote black. Well, I won't say a lot, but there's a handful of black geniuses when it comes to music. With white people, the genius is like in tech, it seems. So do we not give white? Like, who's a white musical genius? Elton John, maybe. Like, who's the white?
Hans Zimmerman.
Good call. You're right.
David Foster.
Yeah, David Foster.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
David Foster's
I'm lying.
David Foster's incredible. You got to watch his documentary.
I think it's a performance, Nick. I think it's the difference between, because even the people we're naming, they're like pure instrumentalists, and they're like some of the most renowned ever. Beyonce and Taylor and all of them are performers and musicians. Some of them are just performers. I think that's the difference of really recognizing the people behind the scenes. Like, even Spotify had made the secret genius category for the opinion writers that you never really see. So I think it would be, internally people call them geniuses, but publicly they probably don't, because they're not as famous as Usher and Beyonce on the performer side.
I don't think it's race either, because no one called Whitney Houston a genius. She's just one of the greatest singers of all time. Like, no, we don't
say genius singer. They say genius singer.
I don't want to call all black people or black musicians geniuses. I was just asking, because I'm trying to think of who's the non-music black person who we call a genius, and I was trying to think of the musical white people.
Oh, so the non-music black person that we call geniuses?
Yes.
It's
Black History Month. Let's throw some facts. Let's throw something out there.
Damn, why am I forgetting his name? Oh my God, I'm so mad.
Because, I mean, y'all got to, like I said, I'm in music world every day.
I'm forgetting his name right now.
All my recent words, anytime somebody says genius,
Don
me in the music space.
Don Peebles, John Thompson, Ken Chenault. Like, it's a lot of blacks that we call geniuses. Definitely Don Peebles.
We call Ken a genius?
Yeah, I mean, in my circles, it depends on the circles, though, Nick. It depends on the circles, though, Nick. In my circles, we do. Like, I'm sitting around a lot of black tech and venture capitalists. So, yeah, 100%. They'll call them genius. In fact, in my circles, they say Beyonce and them are just entertainers. I was listening to yesterday, a few of my buddies was like, damn, we want to hear her communicate 3 sentences. Can she talk about politics? Can she talk about finance? So they don't actually call Beyonce a genius in my circle. They just say she's an entertainer.
Black people, I'll say that black folks are the only ones, like, from a cultural standpoint, like, with regards to race, like you were saying, like, culturally, I feel like white people don't have to market themselves that way because they're white. Like, black folks have an innate need to differentiate and self-define themselves and kind of put themselves at the top of a pedestal. Like, just culturally, that's what we're kind of, like, trained to do. So I don't really see white people feeling the need call it, I've never heard.
I don't agree with that. I don't think black people got to market themselves. I mean, I think there's just geniuses, and then there's like if we're talking
with regards to self-promotion, that's a black thing.
Well, but there's some amazing marketing done by all different races of people that know how to market their product. I don't think race has to do a lot with marketing. I just think it's when you get older, you have to be a lot more sophisticated in the way that you market your product because you don't have this huge fan base. Like, you don't have this huge, like, kids trying to chase you through the mall. Like, that's the young man's game of it. That's the people that were chasing Justin Bieber and Bow Wow and Criss Cross and Taylor Swift and the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and Boyz II Men and Usher when he was younger. Like, there's this fandom that exists, and then you need these other things because, again, we grown. Everybody got kids and lives. Like, kids are tapped into culture, 90% of the day, where you got to pick your kids up from school, go to get your colonoscopy. You got a relationship. It's entirely different. Kids have so much more time to devote to the things that they're passionate about when they're younger. So that's why less genius is required, because the emotional connection that young people have with the things that they love is always going to outpace whatever genius marketing strategy we can come up with. It's like this. It's like Muhammad Ali was pure talent when he was younger. The rope-a-dope was marketing genius. You see what I'm saying? He couldn't beat George Foreman in a boxing match. So he had to let George Foreman tire himself out and then beat him up in the last chance that he could beat him up. You see what I'm saying? That's marketing. That's like, okay, I'm going to do better on the second half of my life. I have to create these moments as opposed to just me being who I am is the moment.
Gotcha. Okay. So look, guys, it's 11 o'clock. I want to, of course, put a bow on today's conversation. I don't know if y'all want to go over. I see the chat is still moving. I want to bring attention to someone. Was it Shameen or Shamir Business? I saw it in the chat, and him or her. I'm sorry. It says She Means Business. I'm sorry, that's the name. So I'm assuming it's a woman. She brought attention to the fact that she thinks that country music is about to be the new hot genre. And it's funny because I just saw an interview with Russ. Those of y'all who are not familiar with Russ, he's a kid. Popular. Is Russ white? Have we decided if he's white or not?
Well, he's actually. Well, he identifies as black.
Yeah, but he
in the
definitely
interview,
looks like
he said us. Like, he was talking about black culture, and he said us.
He looks like white Jesus, or like
right.
depictions of white Jesus if you've ever seen him. But I don't know what he is. But anyway, Russ had an interview recently where Russ said, with hip hop declining, with the numbers declining, that he had conversations, believe him or not, that he had conversations where they were saying that country music was about to gain in popularity, and because it's like hip hop is going to always be what it is, because of course they have a built-in demographic of people who want to hear hip hop, but because the quality, the numbers, everything has declined, that country is coming back, and if Beyonce is going over there, that is cause to look at what he said and say, oh, well, okay, maybe country, maybe that is the maneuver to get the country numbers up, where soon we'll be hearing articles about how country is dominating music and, the numbers are spiking, hip hop's declining. Like, what do y'all think about that?
Hip hop is going nowhere, dog. I'm telling you, it's not.
Hip hop is baked into country.
Hip hop's numbers are not declining. Like, I don't understand what people are talking about. Like, I don't, the art, the one thing, so this would bother me. I think Juicy J said one thing, and it's like, no, dog, that's not it. Hip hop is always going to be the superior, dominant art form, because I keep saying it is a real life art form. It is literally a musical version of Twitter. It's like, before you know it, like people can create music that are about things that are happening right now. No other genre of music does that. Pop, country, rock, they do not make songs that talk about Israel and Palestine or Ice Spice and Lotto beefing or whatever it is. There's no genre that creates music that connects to people in real time. And now with technology, those songs can come out like in a day. Like somebody can say something and then, oh, the diss track is out tomorrow night. Nothing's going to beat hip hop because it's a real time art form. There's nothing that's going to ever surpass hip hop because unless other art forms take real time content and put that into their music, there's no way to connect faster with people. You're not going to be able to beat hip hop. It's not going nowhere.
Dang it. All right, so look, I want to do something. Gary, Isaac, I don't know if y'all gonna hang and hold the call a little longer. Like I said, I see the chat still going, so y'all may want to continue the conversation. I do have to jump, but I do want to throw something out here on the call. A few weeks back, or actually one of our first calls for 2024, I mentioned that I had done a thing called 75 Hard. 75 Hard was actually something I was introduced on this call maybe 2022 through our guy Kenny Hamilton. He told me about 75 Hard. It's a discipline routine. It involves like working out, drinking water, reading books, all this stuff. I will give you guys more details on it, but I want to do something special for my Monday morning marketing people. I am going to start 75 Hard again next Monday. If we do it starting next Monday, the 75 days would end on May 4th, and then we can all drink tequila and margaritas and have tacos on May 5th. So if anybody is interested in doing 75 Hard, if anybody is interested in like doing the workout thing, to me it's a great time, especially if you're a guy who ties up your weekends with football and drinks beer and eat wings and eats crazy during football season. Football season is over. You got a little bit of a window. There's no big eating holidays coming up in this little window that we got between March, April, going into May. So if you want to do 75 Hard, I'm going to start. It won't cost you guys anything, I don't think. The app costs money. It's like $7. We may even put like some kind of dollar challenge or something on it. I don't know. But if you were interested in doing 75 Hard with me, we will do it. We'll start it. It won't be part of Monday morning marketing. We'll do a separate call. We'll do it like in the evenings or something. So tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm going to post about it. We'll do a call like in the mornings and in the evenings. We'll do it every day so everybody can check in, make sure everybody working out, eating good, or whatever they got to do. But if you care about doing it, if it's something you're interested in doing, or if you just want to try it, this will kind of be our little group thing to hold everybody accountable. We're going to start 75 Hard next Monday and then end it on May 4th. So if you want to do it, hit me up, DM me, and like I said, we'll tap in and I'll probably post. Ain't no problem. I'm going to post about it later and we'll get it all figured out. So let me know if you in. If you're not, it's all good. And it ain't mandatory. We all grown. So, guys, like I said, we do this call every single Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to hang, this is like the after party portion of the call. So feel free to hang and do your thing. But I'm your host, Nick Love. Like I said, like me, love me, follow me here on Fanbase. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And I will see you guys next Monday right here on Fanbase. Keep the call going. Gary, you got it. I'm finna jump off.